Hey friends, Shay here. So today we are here to talk about the best manga series of 2024. For this criteria, in the past I have included series that I was current on as well as series that were complete within the year, or I completed them within the year. For the criteria this year, I had 10 exactly that I was obsessed with that I finished this year. So that's how I'm doing this list this year. These didn't necessarily all publish in 24 and they didn't necessarily finish in 2024, though I think most of them did. It's one of those things where I finally finished them in this year and I'm excited to talk to you about them because these are series that won't be leaving my collection, or if they ever publish them physically, I will be picking them up. So that applies to our first one here, since it is not out physically at all, and that is Boss Bride Days. Boss Bride Days is definitely a series that is not going to be for everybody. Essentially, this young woman ends up helping this elderly gentleman as he is going about a task. It's been a while since I read the first volume, so I can't quite remember. But she is then taken to a Yakuza compound and is told she is going to be the bride of one of the three heirs. So it's these three heirs competing to be her spouse, essentially, and to be the head of the Yakuza family. It is really fun. It is really bonkers and banana pants. And there are points where I feel like it was more a love triangle where you were rooting for two of the brothers to be with her. And then there's a moment towards the end where you end up wanting the third one to be with her. So like they all kind of equally have a chance at being with her. Who she chooses in the end is who I thought she would choose in the end. So that wasn't necessarily a surprise, but I do love the way the whole story played out. It is just a lot of fun for me, so I highly recommend it. Again, if Kodansha ever decides to take this out of digital jail, I would love it. I would be super happy about it. And I would definitely pick them all up physically. So, hey, Kodansha, want to get on that for a girl? All right, moving on to the rest. The rest I do all have physically, so I highly recommend picking up these series. The first one on my list is Emoy. No one is surprised that this is on my list. I love Emoy. I've been shouting its praises since the beginning. We have this delinquent looking guy who is actually pretty shy and soft and sweet, and this girl who decides to confess to him because the last time she didn't confess to someone, they ended up being with someone else. So she didn't want to take any risks. She ends up confessing to him. They're adorable. I love them so much. The secondary couple is also a couple that you root for. So that was a lot of fun as well. It's 9 volumes, very clean, concise. I'm glad it wasn't any longer. Though I could have spent plenty of time with these characters, I'm glad it finished where it did. And it resolved enough that I was really pleased by the end. So if you've been wondering about Emoy since it's complete, definitely pick it up. The next one is also a Shoujo Beat title, Shoujo Beat having 2 on my list this year, and that is My Love Mixup. Again, no one is surprised that My Love Mixup is on this list. I've been rooting for My Love Mixup since the beginning. This is about a guy who likes a girl. He borrows an eraser from her and sees that there's a name on it, because there's a thing where like you're supposed to write your crush's name on an eraser. It explains it all in the volume. And so he thinks it's the guy next to him, but it's not. And the guy next to him, and it looks like his name, sees it and he says, yeah, that's my eraser. So it becomes this stumbled into a male-male relationship kind of situation where they're both just kind of figuring out how to be in a relationship. And the way it all plays out and shakes out for both couples involved made my heart really happy, and all of this was really amazing. Again, it's something that is more casually queer, and I like that we're getting more manga that's that way rather than having it be this blatant, this is all about being queer. This didn't feel that way. It was just a sweet love story, and your 2 main characters just happened to be male. And it worked out so well for me. I really love it. I highly recommend checking out the series. Super cute, super fun. Really loved it. The next one I have here, I don't think anybody will be surprised that this made my list this year. And that is My Androgynous Boyfriend. This finished right towards the end of 2024. I love how this concluded. I was really pleased and really happy with all the resolutions to the story arcs that we got. You get a glimpse of them in the future. I'm just really pleased with the series overall. I can't wait to actually sit and reread all 5 all together. It's going to be a fun time. If you're interested in seeing a vlog like that, let me know down below. But this is one that won't be leaving my collection. I'm really pleased and really happy with where it landed. Another one that is just all about the adorableness and the cuteness, and I'm obsessed with them, is the girl with the Sanpaku eyes. Essentially, this girl has RBF, and so people were really put off by her, but then we find out this boy has a crush on her, and she starts to have a crush on him, and they are just the epitome of high school blushing love. And this fed my soul in the best way. It gave me everything I needed by the end. They are absolutely precious. Their friends root for them from the sidelines, and it was just adorable. 5 volumes, not a huge financial or time commitment for that matter, but it is so worth your time, and I highly recommend it. If they ever made an anime of this, I'd be all over that stuff because it's so cute. Thank you, Denpa, for giving us this series. Please give us more like this that the other publishers aren't publishing. Please and thank you. The next one I have here, again, no one should be surprised. It was featured in a video already on this channel, and that is A Galaxy Next Door. This was the quintessentially perfect ending to this story. I know a lot of people gave up on this series relatively quick, but I highly recommend giving it another try. The resolution for the stuff that put people off is completed by volume 3. So you have a whole lot more story to go after that, and you see them figure things out on their own. Again, I'm not going to say too much about this right here. I will link the video where I talk about it more in depth, so you can check that one out if you want more of my full thoughts, and some other series that I finished, not all of them good, but I highly recommend checking out this series. It's, again, 6 volumes, complete. This last one's a little bit on the chunkier side compared to the rest, but I loved it. Another one that I absolutely love and adore is Beyond the Clouds. This is Ghibli meets Final Fantasy. It's all about this boy who meets this young girl who has broken a wing. And it's all about him trying to help her get home. And it's got steampunk energy. It is just so beautiful to look at. If you're a fan of art styles like Witch Hat Atelier or Kingdom of Quartz, this is going to fall in that same kind of art style. And the story is absolutely phenomenal and amazing, and I highly recommend checking it out, obviously. It's on my best of the year list. If you're interested in seeing a best of all time list, and I would have to choose things that are complete and still on my shelf, let me know down below. I might investigate something like that. This next one here is all about being queer, but it is done in a unique spin, and that is I Think Our Son Is Gay. This is all about a mother's perspective as she's watching her teenage boy grow up and realizing he's got a crush on this boy in his class. And it is so sweet and so perfect. I really love the things that the mother realizes that her son is going to have to face. The fact that she has to protect her son from her own husband's homophobic feelings. And she tries to help him open up his viewpoint before the son gets to a point where he wants to come out to his parents. This is just what his mother has observed, and it's really sweet and really adorable, and I loved everything about this. I definitely could have had more volumes in this series, and I would have been just as happy to read them, but I feel like this resolved in a perfect way for me. It is just this beautiful piece about a parent learning and observing their child and being a good parent about it. Anytime he got shy and blushy about his little crush, she would just smile and let him talk, and she was fine when the crush would come over. She didn't necessarily put different rules on this boy compared to anybody else that came into the house. She was just a good mother through the whole thing, and I love it so much. If I had ever been given the opportunity to have children and I started noticing these things in my child, I would probably react very similarly to this mother, where yes, I would be a mama bear, but I would do all of the research and investigating to do everything I could to protect my kid. And that's why this series is so amazing, because it's all about a mother's love for her child, no matter how they feel about it. No matter romantically or sexually what they feel, she's just a good mother. And I love that. I had not ever truly read a series quite like this, and it just stands out. It's a series that lives rent-free in my head, that I'm constantly recommending at the bookstore that I work at, and I love it. Any parent that's going in there saying, my kid's just getting into this, and, you know, I always recommend the series because I'm like, this is a parent's perspective about watching their kid grow up and learning things about them, and it's beautiful. And the amount of parents I've gotten to pick up this series makes me really proud as a bookseller in a very conservative state that parents are wanting to learn. So there's hope in this world. Might be tiny, but there's hope. Another one of my favorite series from this year is also queer, and that is I Want to Be a Wall. I know a lot of people didn't necessarily love this series or love how it all came about, but this really gave me everything I needed. This marriage is not a conventional marriage, and that is okay. There is nothing wrong with having a marriage that works for you that's outside of what society might expect of you. These two are truly best friends, and they just want the other person to be happy. And it worked out so well. I really love it. I do think it might have needed at least one more volume because I felt like the end was a little bit rushed. I don't know if it got canceled or what, but I do wish we'd had one more full volume because this one's a little on the chunkier side compared to the other two we got. But if we'd had another volume to fully kind of flesh it out, I think it would have landed a lot harder and a lot better. But I still really love this series and will continue to recommend it. So we have an asexual heroine and a homosexual hero who has a crush on his best friend, and she ships them together. And it's beautiful. It's stunning. Yes, I had hopes that this would maybe go slightly another way, but I'm still really happy with where it ended. And last but not least was something I read very early in the year, actually, and that is Gold Kingdom and Water Kingdom. This is an omnibus complete series in which we're following two kingdoms, and these two stumble upon each other in the most organic and beautiful way. And they find out that they're actually arranged by their countries to be together. And it's very sweet and very lovely. The art is absolutely stunning throughout as well. Again, I highly recommend checking out this series. The video where I read this, I will leave that linked for you because I think there's some other things that other people would be interested in that video as well. So with that said, thank you so much for checking out my favorites of the year. If you are here just because you love me, leave me, what kind of emoji should we do today? Leave me a tree emoji. There's got to be a tree in there somewhere. Tree, branch, whatever. That kind of an emoji. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.